Hello. Today I'm talking about the rock cycle. So, as um, rocks go through different processes, they will change into different types of rock. Um, Over here on the left, we have five states of rock and five changes of states. So, these are going to be the different types of rocks: igneous, metamorphic, sedimentary, as well as magma and sediment that are sort of intermediates to the main three types of rock. And down here in the lower left, we have the changes of state of the rock. Um, you can add temperature or add heat, add energy, and the rock can melt and release energy, and the rock can cool. Um, Rocks can change based on massive amounts of heat and pressure, as well as they change by wind, water, and ice when they get weathered and eroded. So that weathering and erosion here. And then if like sand and sediment get compacted, so packed together in like a tiny space, they will actually chemically change and cement together, just like cement on a sidewalk. So we have the three types of rock: metamorphic, igneous, and sedimentary. And then magma is here, and that's an intermediate, as well as sediments, and those are intermediates as well. An intermediate is just something in between the three main states in this case. So, and then we have different colored arrows here. Orange arrows representing a melting that is occurring. The blue arrow is cooling. If something is being weathered and eroded, it is a green arrow, and then finally, um, compaction and cementation would be the purple arrow. And I don't think I mentioned the yellow arrow, the heat and pressure. So if an arrow is pointing away of one of the rocks, so for example, igneous rock, the igneous rock, if melted, will turn into magma. If under the right amounts of heat and pressure, will turn into metamorphic rock. And if igneous rock gets weathered and eroded by wind, water, or ice, it will eventually turn into sediment or like sand. Um, if it's not all weathered and eroded rock is sand, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that eventually, if a rock gets weathered and eroded, time and time again, it will turn into small particles of sand. So, any of the three types of rock, igneous, metamorphic, or sedimentary rock, can be eroded, and eroded long enough can turn into sand, which in a general term we call sediments. Um, if that sediment, like sand, gets compacted, packed into a really small space, it can chemically change and cement together, and we call that sedimentary rock. Red Rocks Amphitheater out in Morrison, Colorado, all that red rock is sedimentary rock. It was either metamorphic rock or igneous rock or sedimentary rock before, and it weathered and eroded into sand and then compacted and cemented together. And then, of course, by mountain building processes that happened millions of years ago, it rose up and now is a pretty impressive place to see music, um, thanks to the natural shape of how the rocks popped out of the earth. But that's beside the point. Anyway, so all three types of rocks can become sediment, and in under certain conditions, they can compact and cement together to become sedimentary rock again. In order for a rock, either sedimentary rock or igneous rock, to become a metamorphic rock, we have to add heat to the pressure, and therefore the metamorphic rock will become apparent. Um, if any type of rock melts, we should we it turns into magma, and then once that cools, turns into igneous rock. One mistake I see with this rock cycle is there should be an orange arrow going from sedimentary rock all the way to magma. So when you draw this in your notes, I want you to add that orange arrow from sedimentary rock to magma, because all types of rock can melt given the right amount of energy. So I think I've covered everything. In a nutshell, just follow the arrows. The arrows mean a transfer to another type. If the arrow is coming from the rock, like this one, then if it's being weathered and eroded, it's turning into sediment. So just follow the arrows, the rock cycle, and yeah, it should be good.